Hi, my name is Lily. I'm here with Sam Ash, and this is to help you on picking out your first violin. First of all, congratulations, you picked the right instrument to play. A violin needs to fit you. If you are over the age of 12, typically you'll be around a full size, but anyone under the age of 12 will need to be measured. The size that you get depends on the length of your arm. It doesn't have anything to do with how old you are or how tall you are. You can even have a twin sister and the two of you be totally different violin sizes. So when you are looking at violins, if you're a smaller or younger player, you're going to need to have your arm measured to figure out what size is right for you. When you are picking out your violin and you are trying to find out, is this the right size? If you don't have a ruler specifically made for measuring violin sizes, you can actually use the violin itself. So have someone hand you a violin. If you're holding your phone with just your face, then you've already had experience with holding a violin, because that's kind of what you're going to do here. You may also sometimes want a shoulder rest. That helps you hold the violin up too, but I have a short neck, so I didn't need one today. And you just reach out, put the violin right under your neck and reach out, and with your arm fully extended, you don't want to bend your elbow at all. You need it straight out. You should be able to comfortably just grab the scroll right in the palm of your hand. If you're reaching out, and this is a full-size violin, and you're able to reach all the way over it and touch the peg box over here, that's not a problem. It means that you could also play viola if you wanted to, which is a bigger instrument that looks just like a violin, but you can still just play full-size violin. That's not a problem. If you're holding this violin and your hand is only able to do this, you can't reach around the scroll really, you're just kind of tapping it on the back, or maybe you can't even get there, your fingers are kind of over here, then this is too big for you. You need a smaller size violin. So you're going to either want to have someone hand you a smaller size or get officially measured by an expert who knows how to measure for violin. Now, once you've figured out what size you are, you're going to want to pick out a violin that stays in tune. So you might see violins on the internet that are very, very inexpensive, but the problem with some of those is the pegs, the thing that you use to tune with, will be made from plastic a lot of the time, and those slip, they don't stay. And it's very hard to learn on an instrument that's constantly going out of tune. So you just don't want to do that to yourself. Get something that's definitely made out of wood. You need to have a straight fingerboard. So if you ever look down a fingerboard and you can see that the strings are kind of going off at an angle and looking crazy, that's going to be very frustrating to play. You're not going to get a good sound. The bridge right here, this is the bridge. It almost kind of looks a little bit like the Brooklyn Bridge. That needs to be curved, because if it's flat, like a lot of internet violins are, they expect you to get it shaped by a luthier, but most people won't do that. You put that on there and you'll only be able to play two strings every time. You won't be able to single out one string at a time, and you'll never be able to learn melodies that way. You'll just be playing double stops all the time. So besides a good violin, you're going to want to make sure that it comes with an outfit, meaning a case, and very importantly, a bow. If you can't get a bow with it, you're not going to be able to play it like a normal violin player. So the bow needs to be straight when you look down the length of it this way, and have a bit of a curve towards the horsehairs when you look at it from this side. Also, this one has a normal straggler, because this is a brand new bow, and this is pretty common. You'll probably lose at least like 1 or 2 hairs every time you play, and you just kind of want to yank it from the bottom. That's totally normal. So I'll show you this once, and you should never do it in your own time, because you'll probably damage your bow. But you never want to get a bow out of the case that looks like this. The lines are almost parallel, and the bow is actually kind of curving out away from the hair. The reason for this is that the tension is wrong. The bow is way too tight, and this is horsehair. Just like our own hair, it's not elastic, so eventually it'll become slack, and you would have to keep tightening it over time until your bow snaps from right here. That's where it's going to snap. So if you ever find a bow this way, throw it out. Or try and save it. I'm loosening it, and this one is back to normal now, and it should be fine. When you get your bow, you want to find the right tension for it, and that means that it needs to not be parallel. There should still be a little bit of a curve going towards the horsehairs. And you don't want to really touch this too much because it's got sticky rosin on it, which helps the strings play, but on your fingers it's useless and it's just sticky. But if you very lightly drop the bow from about 1 inch to 2 inches above your hand, it should just bounce, and the stick part is not hitting your hand. So that's how you know you have enough tension to play. And if you loosen it, not only will the hairs look a little bit more slack, but I don't know if you can hear it, the stick is actually now hitting my hand when I drop it. When you are getting your violin, you want to also make sure that there is rosin. It's usually going to be in this front pocket. Sometimes there'll be another pocket in the case, but one of those two pockets should have a little shiny looking, amberish looking piece of cake thing. That is rosin. It is a hard, easily shatterable item. If you drop it, it'll probably break. This is what is actually making the sound for the violin. If you don't have this, and if you don't put this on this, you will not hear any sound. It'll be very quiet, almost like rubbing two pieces of silk together. You won't get too much sound. So rosin comes in different grades. This rosin needed a little bit of help. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little bit of like scuffing going on here. I did that so that I could get the rosin onto the bow. You can either use a pin or part of a paper clip, or I actually just used the bottom part of this bow because once you do that, you can easily wipe it off of here. It's not really damaging the bow at all. And now I can get that dust, that rosin dust, onto my bow. And this is what pulls the strings and makes them make sound. So today I've been playing this violin without a shoulder rest, but that is only because I am holding on to the violin the entire time. I am not really playing like I would in an orchestra, and I have kind of a short neck for a violin player. If I was actually playing professionally, this would drive me crazy because look, it's moving. I can't hold on to it. It's just sliding down as I'm trying to do stuff, and if I'm shifting up here, it's going to get in my way as it moves around like that. So a shoulder rest pretty much just makes up for the gap that's right here between your body and the instrument, and it really nicely sits like this. So I would be able to just kind of dance along the fingerboard and not worry about the violin moving at all. Any player needs some type of a shoulder rest. Sometimes there are very low ones that are kind of more sponge-like looking, but anything at all is going to help keep that violin in place. So once again, I'm Lily with Sam Ash, and I hope this has been helpful and taken away some of the pressure from buying your first violin. If you have any other questions or if you want to be measured, just call your local Sam Ash or stop on by and someone will be happy to get you started.